Tariffs. What are we missing?
What do you mean, what are you missing?
So there's a conversation. I'm sure you would have just heard the U.S. president there speaking, and most of the Eastern Caribbean countries are on this list. He was more speaking about the more powerful countries, but Antigua, Barbuda, one of the countries, we've been slapped with a 10%. What are we missing? The question is, do we export anything to the United States? So why then are we a part of this list? What is this thing? What are we missing? What are we not getting?
Why are we starting there, though?
Tell me where you want to start.
I mean, tariffs should not be something that's new to Antigua. Tariffs are not something that we should be surprised about. Tariffs are not something that we should be reacting ignorant. That's the word I'm going to use. It's a harsh word about, because Antigua has been applying tariffs since the 12th of Never. And we have to understand that, first of all, in the context, yes, we are a small, open, vulnerable, independent, small island who do not use direct taxation in any significant way. So our direct taxes are Social Security, medical benefits, Social Security, medical benefits, education levy. I say direct because those come out of our salaries.
Those are deducted
right.
at the point of your salary.
Beyond that,
your payroll tax.
Beyond that, all of our revenue comes from not all, because the CIP is very significant now, and we have grants and we have loans and so on, but the significant portion of our revenue comes from indirect taxes on goods in particular. Services. We have the ABST. Through the ABST, the volume of taxes on services has been increasing, but you're not ready for that yet. But a significant portion of that, our revenue comes from the ABST on goods imported, the customs service charge on goods imported, and the customs duties on goods imported. So if we want to go to what Trump says, when Trump says that countries have been applying tariffs on America, many countries across the world, because of the volume of imports, not just from America, but across the world, we apply tariffs. I guess that's the first thing we want to put on the record. So the application of tariffs on imports is not new. The challenge is that America, for decades, has used various free trade pacts and free trade arrangements where it did not apply tariffs on many trading blocks, as part of its development strategy and as part of its global big brother, big sister, actually policing strategy. So the issue, I guess, what we're looking at now is that we were part of the Caribbean Basin trade arrangements with the United States. And within that trade arrangement, while we charged tariffs, quote unquote, on American goods, America, to aid us in our development and growth, did not charge a reciprocal tariff on the Caribbean Basin countries. So
there's a terminology for that. What is it called?
On what?
When the U.S. doesn't necessarily charge.
No, I'm saying when they develop free trade areas.
Right, free trade.
Right. So there have been various free trade agreements. So we had the Caribbean Basin Initiative. We had, of course, there is the North American Free Trade Area, and all of those things. And so through those arrangements, either zero tariffs or minimal tariffs applied. Now, again, for context, let's come back to our region. In our Caribbean region, we, as part of our free trade policy within CARICOM, remember we have CARICOM, we have the Caribbean Single Market. Let's, for context, remember there is the Caribbean Single Market. And within the Caribbean Single Market, the CET, the Common External Tariff, applies. And on the basis of the common external tariffs, goods which are produced in the single market area for CARICOM have a lower or no tariff applied. They're only subject to the ABST and the revenue recovery charge. Right. So There are a wide range of goods within the CARICOM single market,
Right.
of which Antigua is a part, where there is no tariff.
Tariffs.
That's the trade tariff. But even within that, so for example, as Antigua sought to develop its paint sector, the Lewin paints, and Lewin paints was around, and I think it's still applicable now with the Harris paint that we have, where paint coming into Antigua, even from the region, is subject to a tariff.
Okay.
Let's use the correct terminology here.
Because,
the tariff. So the tariff is really what we call our customs duties. So remember, our tax structure on imports is the custom duties, the revenue recovery tax, and the ABST are all applicable on goods coming into Antigua and Barbuda. All right, so just so we understand, we apply tariff.
So there are three known words that usually get, and for some reason we're now realizing that I have been confusing these three words: a tax, a tariff, and custom duties.
The customs duties is the tariff.
So the custom duty is the tariff.
Yes.
Okay. So tax and tariffs are pretty much
the tariff.
Are they the same thing?
The tariff is one type of tax.
Oh, it's a type of tax.
Yes.
Okay, very
It's a tax that's applied on international commodities.
Commodities, goods and
as
services.
opposed international commodities. Yes, if you're bringing in you can apply a tariff on international services. It's not easily done, but yes.
Okay.
So you have within the portfolio of taxes on international goods, the tariff, the revenue recovery tax, and the ABST. So for example, when Mr. President, Mr. 47 Mega says some countries apply tariffs and other things, because he did say that. In the case of Antigua, we apply the tariff,
and other things,
the custom service tax, and other things. The indirect challenge would be that a lot of goods coming to Antigua and Barbuda, in that 146 million you see for the US, are coming from other places. So for example, I'll give you an immediate impact. For example, many of us, y'all, I don't shop online, buy a lot of online products. And many of us use mailboxes in the US.
No.
Yeah. It's a standard thing. It's not just us, it's across the world.
I know.
So
I do. I'm just saying.
Right. And so those
more?
goods coming from the point of origin. So in the case where you use your Shein and your
Amazon products.
Wait, before we get to Amazon, the one when you shop online and the Chinese so the Sheins and so on, those goods to get to Antigua are going to go through the United States, and so the 37% that is applicable on goods coming out of China will be applicable there.
Whoa.
So they will first get that tax, go into the US, and then when it gets on its way to Antigua, we will then apply the Antigua tax. So those commodities will increase.
So hold on.
Where you get some building materials, quite a bit of those building materials that we get out of the United States are not originating in the United States. They are coming through other countries. They're coming through Canada. Canada was not at that list because Canada already got its hit already. So they're coming from Canada, shipping through the United States to come to Antigua. They're coming from China. They're coming from other Asian countries. They're coming from Latin American countries. And because we don't have direct shipping to Antigua, they're going to go through the United States. So the tariff that's applicable to those countries will be applied to those commodities, and then they will be shipped to Antigua, and they will also get the tariff and the taxes that are applied in Antigua. So that is how we will be impacted. So don't breathe a sigh of relief, because what it means globally is that the cost of goods and services come the 9th of April. So if you can order today, order now, and pray to get out of America quickly. But the cost of goods and services are going to goods, but on services, because if I use any goods to produce my service. So let's, for example, assume if you're a consultant and you use paper, you use pens, you use your laptop, use all of these different things to produce your services, your cost of service will increase because the cost of the goods, some of the goods that you input into your production will increase. So we're looking at an increase in the cost of goods and services across the board unless there is some renegotiation.